So at the end of today's class, we'll be solving some more questions because we'll be leaving with some time. So what we'll be doing, we'll be solving some random question from this chapter as whole, so that you can see that, or it will be serving the purpose of revision. Okay. So at the end, we will be doing a quiz kind of a thing. So second is exponential distribution. So in the case of uniform distribution, you had a graph of a parallel line to the x-axis. Now for exponential distribution, the graph will look like what function? Exponential function. So the graph in this case will look like this. This is the graph of an exponential function. Okay. Let's say this value is k. So this function is given by k e to the power minus lambda x when x is greater than equal to 0 and 0 otherwise. First of all, this function is only defined for x greater than 0. In last case, we have seen uniform distribution. There a and b can be any value. I have taken them to be positive for my example, but they can be any value. It can be negative also. But the exponential distribution, it will always take values which are greater than 0. It is defined in its definition. Okay. Now what is its distribution? K e to the power minus lambda x, where lambda is some parameter of this distribution. Means it depends upon what x you are taking, your parameter lambda will be different. Like if x is the duration of call, then lambda will be having some particular value. If x is something other thing, then it will take some other value. It's something which is which represents your x. It's a parameter for your x. Okay. Now again, can you find me this k value? K is some constant at which this graph is cutting this y-axis. What will be this k value? Can you find out again? Give me the answer, k value. So how to find out this k value? Again, using the same thing, that integration of fx dx should give you 1. Now what will be the limit? Because x is defined for greater than 0, the limit will be 0 to infinity. So 0 to infinity, the integration should give you 1. So let's integrate e to the power minus lambda x. 0 to infinity should be equal to 1. K is a constant, take it outside. What is the integration of exponential function? So it is the same exponential divided by the constant with which the x is multiplied. Okay. We will study calculus and you will see the formula for integration there also. So this is how you integrate. Now this will become minus lambda is a constant, e to the power minus infinity. E to the power minus infinity, then e to the power 0, this is 1. E to the power minus infinity, what value it will have? What is the value of e to the power minus infinity? Do you remember the graph of e to the power x? Graph of e to the power x. This is the graph of e to the power x, if you remember. So if you see that when x is going to negative infinity, your graph is approaching to 0 value. So what we will say, that this value will be 0. So k minus lambda, this is 0. E to the power 0, anything to the power 0 is 1. So this is like this. So if you solve this, you will get k as lambda. So what are you getting finally? We are getting that your function will be e to the lambda into e to the power minus lambda x. Okay. Any doubt in this? Just plain integration, and the thing you should remember is e to the power minus infinity will be 0. Okay, very good. So from this we have got k equal to lambda. So first thing to remember, what is your function? Then second thing to remember, what is e of x, that is the expectation of x. So in this case, if you solve this, you will find out it will be 1 by lambda, and the variance will, if you find so using the same logics by integration, it will be 1 by lambda square. Okay, so lambda is some parameter which is very, very important. It will help you to find out the mean, variance, and again the function itself also. Done? Solve the question given in the slide. So this is given to you that assume that the duration in minutes of a telephone conversation follows an exponential distribution like this. Yes, very good. Option A is right. Everybody answered. Very good. Yes. So probability that the conversation will exceed 5 minutes. What do you mean by exceed 5 minutes? What kind of probability is required? So x greater than 5 is required. Okay. Now there is a slight confusion in the minds that whether should I take this or this. Should I consider the equal to sign or not? So will it be having any effect if you consider equal to or not? Are you able to see? Exceed means can it be equal to also? So this doubt will be coming in most of your minds, but it will not have any effect if you consider it as equal to or not, because what we are doing, we are just integrating, and in integration the end limits do not have any effect. Yes or no? But if this was a case of discrete distribution, then it will matter, because now you will count the probability of x equal to 5 if equal to is there. If equal to is not there, then you won't count it. Okay. But in the case of continuous distribution, it will have no effect. So 5 to what should be the upper limit? Upper limit will be infinite, because this is an exponential distribution. You know that it goes up to infinity. Okay. So that's why 5 to infinity. Now just integration question it has become. So integrate this x by 5, you will get minus 1 by 5 over here, and 5 to infinity. So this 5 and this 5 getting cancelled. There is a minus 1 outside. So e to the power minus infinity minus e to the power minus 1. You know e to the power minus infinity is 0. This is 1 by e. So final answer is 1 by e. That is option A. Very easy question. That's what I was telling you, that the concept may be difficult to understand, but yes, the questions that are asked are quite easy. Okay. Let's come to the most important one. This is the most important distribution. Okay. And most confusing also. So let's discuss this one, normal and Gaussian distribution. Any doubt? If there is any doubt, you can ask. First of all, its graph. How its graph looks like? So its graph looks like a bell. So its graph is looking like this, like in the form of a bell. That's why it's also known as bell curve. Bell curve. And if you remember, what is this point denotes? What does this point denotes? Do you remember it? We have already studied this in statistics part. What will this line denote? So consider it to be symmetrical only. I have not been able to draw, but consider it to be symmetrical, because this is a symmetrical graph only. Bell curve is always symmetrical. Okay. So what will be this line denoting? So yes, it's the same as mean, mode, median. We have discussed this. This point is nothing but mean, mode and median, denoted by mu. Okay, mu is denoting your mean, mode and median. Okay. Now, do you know the equation of such curve? Like for uniform, we have seen the equation is the equation of a constant line. For exponential, the graph was following e to the power minus lambda x. Okay. Now we have never seen the equation of this kind of a curve. This is not a parabola. This is not a parabola, obviously. Okay. So you can't write it in minus x square or x square something. This is not a parabola. So its equation, I have told you that this is a bit confusing one, because its equation, if you look at its equation, it's very confusing. So it's something like this: 1 by sigma under root 2 pi e to the power minus half x minus mu by sigma whole square. So you can see it's having a typical equation like this: 1 by sigma under root 2 pi e to the power minus half x minus mu by sigma whole square, where mu denotes mean of your distribution and sigma denotes what? Obviously your standard deviation. Okay? Yes, good. So sigma denotes standard deviation. Now this is the equation that you need to remember first of all. Okay, very confusing one, but still you will need to be remembering it. Okay, now if I ask you for this function, what is, like in the last case we have seen such a question. In the last class we in one of the question we solved this probability. So for this question, if I ask you what is the probability that x varies from 0.5 to 5, then you know for solving this, because it's a continuous one, you will have to integrate your function from 0.5 to 5, yes or no? But can you remember this but can you solve this integration? You have a function where e is having x square. Okay, if you know calculus, or if you know a little bit calculus, or if after studying calculus also, we will see that you can't solve this kind of functions integration. This is not solvable by using any method of your calculus. Okay, so whenever you are asked some probability, then you are integrating it, but you don't know how to integrate this function. That's why it's a bit complicated. We can't integrate this function very easily. Okay, so integration is not possible. Integration is not possible. X square equal to t also, if you substitute, then also substitution, we will see that if you want to substitute something, then its differential should be present in your function. So differentiation of x square is giving you 2x. Now 2x is not there in the function, you can't integrate. And the other thing is that you need to first of all get this value of sigma and mu. If they are unknown, then you can't find your fx, then you can't integrate. Okay, so that is one of the problem. It is easy, 1 by sigma under root 2 pi. If you write it 2-3 times, you will be able to remember this, e to the power minus half. It's important because it may be asked in some calculus question also. Okay, so please थोड़ी मेहनत कर लो please, और याद कर लो. Okay. Okay, so what I was asking you, that this integration is not possible. Now this is known as normal curve. And why it is known as normal curve? Because this distribution is followed by every normal real life situation. If you look carefully, then if you look in a society, then there are very less people which are poor. There are very less people which are rich. But the middle class people, there are a lot of them. Yes or no? Similarly, if you ask about the number of students getting or qualifying GATE exam, then there are very less students who will score very low marks. There are very less students who will score very high marks. But in between this 40 to 60 range, most of the students fall. So this kind of a situation is followed by almost all kind of real life and engineering problems. That's why it's known as normal curve. Now if it's falling into so many places, and if its integration is very tough, then how will you proceed? Every time when you are asked about the probability that how many students will qualify the GATE exam, and if you want to solve this probability equation using this equation, then you can't integrate, then how will you set your goal? Yes or no? So for that, to make the situation simpler, we have again standardized this curve into standard normal distribution. Due to this problem of not able to integrate and not able to find out the probabilities, we standardized the standard distribution itself into standard normal distribution. Okay, first of all, what we have done, because this was not possible, we have standardized. Now what we have standardized? So we have taken a variable which we will define as standard normal variable. Not a normal variable, it's standard normal variable. Okay, so what is the standard normal variable? It is z, and this z is such that its mean is 0 and variance is 1. So the standard normal variable is defined such that its mean is 0 and variance variance is 1. Okay, so you will define a standard normal variable z in such a way that its mean becomes 0 and variance is 1. So what are we trying to do? We are converting every value x. We are converting our x, which can be anything like the number of students qualifying GATE exam, or the number of people in an economy, or it can be the amount of rainfall in or it can be the temperature. It can be anything. But what we are trying to do, we are converting this x variable into z variable so that we can find out a relationship. Okay, so how to find out that relationship? First of all, we should know that its mean is what? Its mean is mu, while its mean is 0. Okay, so if I want to say, if I want to equalize or build up a relationship between z and x, then first of all I should subtract mu value from every x. So if I talk about, let's say, this particular x, which is, let's say, 100, and this was 50. So to make z's mean as 0, what will I do? I'll just subtract 100 minus 50. What will happen? This whole thing, this whole graph will be shifted towards this part so that the mean comes out to be 0. Are you able to follow? Why I have subtracted mean? What is mu here? Mean of x, not mean of z. Mean of z is already defined as 0. To make its mean as 0, I will subtract every value of x with mu so that its mean comes out to be 0. Okay? This x is defined from minus infinity to infinity because it is a normal variable, so it can take negative values also. Okay? Now this, if its variance is to be 1, then it should be divided by sigma. If you now look at the variance of this and mean of this, if I just apply the properties, then you can find out that its mean is coming out to be 0 and its variance coming out to be 1. Can you prove that? Can you prove that using the properties of your variance and sigma? Variance and mu. First of all, tell me whether you have written all it down so that I can delete some of the area. So the thing was that this curve is having typical equation. So if you want to find out any probability, then you will have to do integration, which is not possible over here. So I have standardized this curve into some standard normal curve using a variable z, which has a property that its mean is 0 and variance is 1. Now I'll explain this part in a bit. First of all, tell me, have you written it down? So I can see that you have written it down, so I'm deleting here. Okay. So I have told you z is nothing but x minus mu by sigma. To prove that this z is having mean 0, just take the expectation on the both sides. Now please, if you do not remember the properties of expectation, please turn down your pages. So if you have e of a minus b or x minus y, e of x minus y can be written as what? E of x minus e of y. Do you remember it? Now e of z, this sigma is a constant. Sigma is standard deviation for this curve, which will have some constant value. So sigma can be taken out common. You have seen that e of a times x is a times e of x. So sigma taken out from this, it will become e of x here. And what is this? Mu is again a constant defined for this function. Sigma is a constant. What is expectation of a constant? E of a. Using the properties, we have seen expectation of constant is the constant itself. So it will come out like this. Okay. Now, what is this value? E of x. E of x was nothing but mu. It has been defined in the question itself. So what is it coming out? It is coming out to be 0. So that is why I have chosen this equation for z and x that is why I have chosen this relationship for z and x, because this is giving me the mean of or expectation of z to be 0, which was required over here. Okay, so this proves that e of z is 0. Okay, now let's again see how variance is coming out to be 1. Again, use the properties. Tell me, you can prove that. So again coming to the same equation, z was x minus mu by sigma. If I take variance, we have seen that variance of x minus y is again variance of x plus variance of y. There is no variance of x minus variance of y kind of a thing. We have addition only. So it will be variance of x by sigma minus variance of mu by sigma. Now what is the variance of a times x? It is a square bx. So a square means 1 by sigma square will come out to common, and it is vx. And what is variance of a constant? Again turn the pages if you don't remember. Variance of constant is 0. So it is 0. This is variance of z. Variance of z is variance of x. Now sigma was a standard deviation for x. So variance of x will be what? Sigma square. So it will be sigma square by sigma square, that is 1. So again this proves that this is the required equations to standardize this particular x. Any doubt how I wrote this equation? I wrote this relationship between z and x because I need a standard variable such that its mean is 0 for every value of x and variance is 1 for every value of x. Okay, yeah, plus. Okay, yes. I told the property but I forgot to write it. Thank you. Any doubt till here? So that's why I have chosen that relationship. So what you need to remember is that how to choose your z variable. Okay, how to choose your z variable. Now if I draw this standard normal curve, have you written it down? Should I remove this? Write it first so that I can remove that down. So tell me what will happen if this curve's mean becomes 0. If this curve's mean becomes 0, will it not be shifted like this? So if its mean becomes 0, then this curve will be shifted like this. It will still be it still will be a bell curve, but it will be shifted such that its mean becomes 0. Mean of what? Mean of z, not of x. X's mean is something different, but mean of z is 0. Yes, and it will follow such that this value will come out to be 3 and this value will come out to be minus 3 always. It will follow. If you substitute any value of x here, it may be the number of students or the amount of rainfall, temperature, anything. Again, because it's a standard normal curve, then this value will be minus 3 and plus 3 only. So this z lies in between minus 3 and plus 3. What is this? This is the standard normal curve. Okay, and what are the limits for this x? X, because it is not touching this graph, that means x is varying from negative infinity to positive infinity. Okay, the x limits are minus infinity to positive infinity, while z limits are minus 3 to plus 3 only. After that there will be nothing. Okay, now this is your standard normal curve. Now what was required actually? We actually wanted to find out the probability from 0.5 to 5. So let's say, let's take an example that you are required this probability 0.5 to 5 and you have been given that the mean of x is, let's say, 2 and standard deviation is 1. Okay, now what was required? This probability is required and the conditions given are something like this. Now what you will do, you will just convert this equation into your z equation. How will you convert? You can say that your x1 is 0.5. Okay, so z1 will be x1 minus mu by sigma. So you will write this x1 as 0.5, mu is 2 and sigma is 1. So it is coming out to be 0.5 minus 2 minus 1.5. This is your z1. And looking at here, x2 is nothing but 5. So you will say z2 is 5 minus mu is 2 divided by 1. So z2 is 3. So what is this probability equivalent to? This probability in terms of your z, it is equivalent to minus 1.5 and this will become z here 2, 3. Now this value you can find out from the normal table. What is normal table? Actually for each and every point your probability have been calculated and tabulated, so that now you do not want to integrate it. You will just refer that, okay, in x variables, if this is the required probability, you will convert it into z variable like this, and you will refer the table, okay, from minus 1.5 to 3, what is the probability. But in the case of GATE exam, obviously you will not have that table, so it will not come in the GATE exam, this question. Yes or no? You do not have any tables provided in your GATE exam, so this kind of a question cannot come. What kind of a question can come? That how to convert a particular value of x into z. Yes or no? Are you able to understand? This may come, but this probability, finding out of probability will not come because tables are not provided in GATE exam. Your problem solved. This question cannot come. Only thing you need to remember is this one and the functions. Yes, डराने के लिए है बस, ज़्यादा काम नहीं है. But again, it may be asked as a direct question. It may be asked as a direct question that which one of the following is the equation for your normal curve. Okay. Okay, before telling you anything, first of all, can you tell me what will be this value? Or let me write in terms of probability. What will be this probability? I have not told you anything about x, just this, that it is a normal random variable. Then what will be this probability? Can you guess? Yes, definitely it will be 1, because integration of total probability, or total probability is nothing but 1. So minus infinity to infinity fx dx will be 1. We know this thing. Okay. Now if I define this point to be the mean, okay, can you give me what will be this probability? What will be this probability? Can anyone reply me? Yes, very good. Very good, everyone. So it will be 0.5. Why? Because this curve is symmetrical about this line. If the total probability is 1, and you know by definite integration we get nothing but the area under the curve. Yes or no? This means the similar thing as the area under the curve. So it means that the total area under this curve is 1. So if I talk about what is the area of this region, then you will say it is nothing but half, because the curve is symmetrical. Yes or no? So this value will be equal to this value, and it will always be equal to half, that is 0.5. Everybody has understood this point, I guess. Okay. Now there are some sigma limits. As I've already told you that a lot of research has been done on this, because this is a normal curve which is followed by generally every kind of situation. So a lot of research has been done to find the probabilities and standardize this curve. Okay. So when we conducted the research, we found this thing, that whenever you are in this range, what range? Mu minus sigma to mu plus sigma. Okay, let me say that the mu minus sigma point, this is mu. Let me say that the mu minus sigma point is something here, and mu plus sigma will be something here. So what we found by the research, that this area or the probability from this range always found to be constant, and that value was 0.68. This value is every time found to be the same, that is 0.68. This is known as 2 sigma limit, because this distance is nothing but equal to 2 sigma. This is known as 2 sigma limit. 2 sigma limit. Okay. How we found it? Through research. What do you have to do about this? You have to remember this. Okay. Because the question are asked from this only. Okay. Maximum questions from this topic are asked from sigma limit concept. Okay. Similarly, we found that mu minus 2 sigma to mu plus 2 sigma, this integration value was coming out to be 0.957. From mu minus 2 sigma, so it may be something like here, mu minus 2 sigma to mu plus 2 sigma, it came out to be, sorry, it will be plus here and minus here. So its value always came out to be a constant 0.957. You have to remember this by heart because questions are asked from this, and this is known as 4 sigma limit. And similarly we have 6 sigma limit. Can you guess what will be the probability? So 6 sigma limit is between this range and it is equal to 0.99. Okay, 0.99, and this value is known as 6 sigma limit. So according to this concept only the question will be asked in the exam, but this exactness is not required in GATE. You will see that the question and the options, your answer will be very far-fetched, so you do not require the exact value. Okay, so just remember this: 0.68, 0.957, 0.99, 0.68, 0.97, 957 and 0.99. These values you should remember. Okay, now let's have a question how the questions are asked in this topic. So first question you can see in the slide. Okay, whenever this kind of question will come, first of all you will look to you will look how to find this mu minus sigma, mu plus sigma. You will always look for these values so that you can give your answer. Okay, annual precipitation data of a city is normally distributed and mean and standard deviation have been given. Probability that the precipitation will be more than 1200. More than 1200. So what is required? Probability of the precipitation, where precipitation is defined, let's say by x more than 1200, and it is given that this is following normal distribution, so something like this x, and this value, that is mean, have been given to you, which is 1000. So what you will look for, you will search for these points, mu minus sigma, mu plus sigma. Okay, so if you find out what is sigma is nothing but 200. So if you find out this mu plus sigma, then you will find out that mu plus sigma is nothing but 1200. So what is the probability required? Probability required is the x is to be greater than 1200, means this range is probability is required. This total range probability is required. Okay. Now do you need to solve this also? First of all, the answer can't be 100% because 100% it was the 100% would have been the answer if it was minus infinity to infinity. Okay, it's not 100%. You can easily see that it is not more than your 50% also. Yes or no? The 50% is area from mu to positive infinity, but it is something lesser than your mu. So definitely your answer will be what? Your answer will be less than 50%. So that is why option A is right. Everybody got it or not? Attempt the next question. How to find out this total region's probability is 0.5, half. Okay, and we have calculated that from mu minus sigma to mu plus sigma it is 0.68. So you can find out from mu to mu plus sigma, this value will be 0.68 divided by 2, that is 0.34. So what will be this remaining value? This remaining value will be 0.5 minus 0.34, which is approximately 0.16 or 16%. Attempt the next question. Don't get confused by the function they have given to you. The only thing you need to focus here is that it's a normal distribution. Okay, they have just given you the function so that you become a little bit confused that what is happening over here. We have never seen this kind of a function. Yes or no? So this is what GATE has always been doing. They are just confusing you by giving you some random or redundant data which is actually not required. Okay, so the thing you will focus here is that it's a normal distribution and its mean is 102 and standard deviation is 27. This is what is required for you. Okay, so everybody now is answering option D. Okay, let's solve this question. So normal distribution with mean as 102 and sigma as 27, and the required probability is probability that the annual precipitation will be between 90 to 102. 90 to 102. You already found your 102. 102 is nothing but your mean. Okay. Now you should look this is nothing but your mean. Now you should look for what is 90. So 90 will be definitely less than mean. So first of all, let's find out what is mu minus sigma. Mu minus sigma. So 102 minus 27. It will come out to be 75. So if I plot here, let's say this is your mu minus sigma, that is 75. Okay. Now what is this probability from 75 to 102? 75 is what? Mu minus sigma. Mu minus sigma to mu. What is this probability? So it will be half of 68% or 0.68. Yes or no? Half of 0.68, because from mu minus sigma to mu plus sigma it is 0.68. So mu minus sigma to mu, it will be half of 0.68, that is 0.34. Now you required this probability, that is from 90 to 102. You should be able to see that 90 will definitely fall in the middle of this range. So basically this probability or this area has been asked to you. Yes or no? So what will be the answer? Will it be 66.7? Definitely no. It will be everything lesser than 0.34. Yes or no? 34%. It will be definitely be lesser than this value of 34%. So 33.3 is one of the option, but will it be your answer? So definitely no, because 90 is somewhere in the middle of 75 and 102. The difference will be greater than the difference over here. So definitely your option D is your answer. Correct answer is option D, because it is the value which is lesser than 34%, but yet exactly or approximately half of the value of 34%. Okay, so this is how you will solve the question based on Six Sigma limit like this. I think I hope that all of you are able to understand this. Now try that question. This question never came in GATE, but it came in ESE. So please try this question. Okay. Depending upon what probability is required. Like in the last case, mean was 102 and sigma was 27. Okay. What is mu minus 3 sigma value? If you calculate, it will be 102 minus 3 into 27. Calculate this value. What is it coming out to be? 3 into 27, 21. It is coming out to be 21. Okay. So if it was asked like this, what is the probability that x lies between 21 to 102? If this was the question, when your one of the limits involves your mu minus 3 sigma, then you will use 3 sigma limit. So you know that this is nothing but your mu minus 3 sigma value. This is your mu value. You know from mu minus 3 sigma to mu plus 3 sigma, it is 0.99. So this will be nothing but half of 0.99. So depends upon what probability have been asked to you. Okay. I hope you have understood. So option B, most of you are answering. So let's see how to solve this question. So it has been given in this question that x is a normal random variable with mean as 30 and standard deviation as 5. And this probability has been asked to you, where given a z.8 is 0.281. This is all the data given to you. Okay. So first thing, if this question comes in GATE exam, again this value will be given to you in the question. Okay, so how to solve this? We have seen that first of all take 26 and write 26 in terms of your z. So z is nothing but x minus mu by sigma. So it is 26 minus mu is 30 by sigma is 5. So it is coming out to be minus 4 by 5, that is minus 0.8. And similarly Z2, where Z2 is corresponding to this value of 34. So 34 minus 30 by 5, what is it? 0.8. Okay. So the required probability in terms of Z can be written similarly as, so I'll say this probability is similar to, again equal to sign doesn't matter because we are integrating. So this is similar to this probability minus 0.8, but in terms of Z. Okay. Now this area is given to you. What is this area? This area means that this is nothing but area from its mean of z is what? 0 to z equal to 0.8. Now if I require from minus 0.8 to 0.8, can I write that this is nothing but 2 into probability of 0 to 0.8? Because again this graph is also symmetrical, so I can write this is nothing but 2 into 0.2881, and if you solve this you will get this as your option B. So if the question comes from this topic in this way also, then it's also easy. What you have to do, you have to just convert your x values in terms of z values and look for the areas that are being given to you in the question. So we will start with the binomial distribution after the break. So till then you can write down this data that has been written in the slide, and please ask if there is any doubt regarding normal distribution till now.